Hi, good morning, all of you guys. Hope all of you can hear me. Yeah, guys, can you please confirm is I'm audible?
Yes.
Right, guys, thank you. So, guys, let's continue from the last session. I think all of you have been joined in the last couple of classes where I have been got some introduction regarding that. I think I can see one or two people only, not more than that. I think Anshu, have you joined today? Today is your first class. Anshu, and I think Anshu, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Anshu?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Yeah. So any other guys? Prashant, is this is your first class? I think like some Sai Kirtana. I can see some more. Yeah. Anybody guys who has been joined for the today's class? Prashant, are you first class?
No.
No, you are joined earlier. Okay, fine. Sai Kirtana? I think I can see Sai Kirtana.
Yesterday only I have joined.
Yesterday joined. Okay, fine. Okay. Fine, guys. I think I can see just one or two people are there. Okay, still some people will join. We'll share the recorded videos. So just once again, because if anybody looks like from today's class, we'll start with the Python. Guys who has been joined for the today's class. So already just 4 classes actually, guys. It's a 4 sessions has been happened. And that too, they are not the actual classes, like just a small introduction part, like what is data science, what is machine learning, and what are the different activities we do. Just an idea. It's only introduction part only. We didn't started with any implementation also. Just I given some idea like what is classification, what is regression. It is only just an intro part only, guys. It's not any practical implementation. So I have given some idea like how the machines will learn. So machines, very simple technique, guys. Machines need to be trained first of all. Machines need to be trained. So how the machines are going to be gets trained actually, guys. So give some data, give some features and give the labels. Machines are going to learn from that particular data actually. Anyhow, once again, in our actual course curriculum, in our actual classes, once again, we'll have a complete introduction part of the machine learning. Once again, 3-4 days, I'll again give a complete introduction about that. And I told you about only training, but I didn't talk about what is testing. But in our machine learning, main important is training and testing is important actually. So we have to give a training should be required, and the machines has to be gets tested also. So before going for the deployment, so how effectively the machines are predicting. So what the machines will do, guys, machines are going to be trained with some data. It will learn from that particular data. And based on that, it is going to be doing some kind of a predictions actually. That is what I have been given some introduction part. Anybody who has been missed the previous classes, already there is a recorded videos will be there, guys. My backend team is going to share you the recording videos. I think all of you have got up the follow-up mail also actually, guys. Okay. So there is a follow-up mail will be coming. There is going to be a follow-up mail will come from my backend team, guys. Just let me show you. Yeah. So this is how the backup, the follow-up mail, what we are going to call it as. And one more thing, guys, in a couple of days, we'll close up the batch and we are going to close up the batch and you have to process all your payments and all these things has to be gets completed. And the new link, there is a new link will be shared only for the paid students only because almost all demos are already completed. Within a couple of classes, we'll change the link also actually, guys. So if you have any issues, I told you already, please try to reach out to my backend team. Or if you have any concerns, so you can just talk to me. I also shared my number. Once again, I'll share the number. So we can see the demo videos are also there. You will get the follow-up link. There is a demo videos are also going to be gets coming. I think due to some technical reason, the first session was not available actually. I think so. The first session was not available. I was not sure about that because on that day, there is one small technical issue has been came. So we'll be getting a follow-up link like this actually, guys. You can go through the videos. Yeah. So this is a video actually, guys. So the demo videos, what I have been, this one. Yeah. So you can go through the recording videos, guys. Okay. So the follow-up link will contain the recording videos. Just gets a demo only, guys, like how my class, how my delivery was there, how technically I was able to discuss about them, all these things we can see it actually, guys. Okay. So the follow-up mails will come. So in that we'll have a recording videos are also there. Demo videos will be coming. They already uploaded to the Google, to the YouTube. From that, you can just watch the videos and we can do it actually, guys. Okay. So if anybody who has been missed the last couple of classes, guys, you can just go there and you can just verify it. Okay, fine. So, okay. So once again, a quick review, guys. I don't want to repeat for multiple times. From the last 4 classes, I'm repeating it. Repeating means I'm not completely repeating it. Just it is like an introduction. I have been just reviewing the class actually, guys. What we have been got discussed in the previous day. Right. Just a second once. Just a second. Where is my right? So this is my the last class, whatever I have shared. I will share you this notebook also, guys. Day-to-day notebooks will be coming. Being it is a demo classes, I completely done within a single sheet only. So no worries. It is only just like an introduction part only, so I didn't discuss about anything. Like just once if we have a recap of all the things, like what exactly the steps are involved. Like as I said that we have to do some data collection, data analysis, data cleansing, data visualization, training, evaluation, improvement of the model performance. At the last, we have to do the deployment. So to perform all these operations, so what language we are going to use? Are you going to use any language? Are you going to use any, which is going to be, are you using any language? Are you going to use any tools? So we are not going to work with the tools actually, guys. We are not going to work with the tools. Okay. So yeah, just a second. Right. We are not going to work with the tools actually, guys. Okay. Then what language we are going to use this actually? What language we are going to be uses actually, guys? Okay. So whenever we are talking about, whenever we are going to be talking about the language, so which language we have to use? So once again, I'm telling that, so we are not going to use any programming languages. We are not going to be using any programming languages actually, guys. Okay. So whenever we are going to be, gets working with the tools, I'll tell you what is the problem with the tools also actually, guys. What is the problem with the tools? I'll tell you. Like even I will be handling the other there are going to be other trainings like Power BI. Even also I'm providing the trainings on Power BI and some kind of an Spark, etc. I'm giving it. So as part of the Power BI is a tool actually, guys. It's a data visualization tool. One of the main problem with this is it supports only and only Windows operating systems. It supports only Windows operating systems. They don't support any other operating systems. Only Windows is supported. So nowadays we know that in the people who generally stays in US, so maximum there are going to be using the Mac systems. There are going to be using that. They'll use the Mac. So the Power BI does not support the Mac. So again, they have to do some virtual machines installations, and they have to do it actually. So the one of the problem with the tools is going to be the system dependency will be there. So because only on specific operating systems only they will work. That's why we want to use some framework, or we want to use a language which is going to be independent of the platform. It's a platform independent. We want to work with that. They have to work with any type of operating systems. Whether you want to work with Windows, or whether you want to work with the Linux, or whether you want to work with which is going to be Linux or Unix, whatever it may be you are talking about. Okay. And we have to also work with the Mac systems also. We have to work with them. So we have to require such kind of a language which is going to be a platform independent. They have to work with any kind of a languages we have to use. So that is possible only and only with which is going to be some kind of an open source systems only it will work actually. They have to work only with the open sources. I'll tell you what is an open source. Generally, if you want to work with all operating systems, generally we have to work with the open source systems. We have to work with them actually. So we are going to use as one such kind of a language, which is an open source. Okay, I'll tell you what is an open source again. An open source, and which is compatible with any type of operating systems. So I generally uses Windows. I generally uses Windows, as well as I also uses the Linux versions also I'll uses actually. How I uses the Linux versions? I am going to be using some kind of an virtual machines I'm going to use. VMware, I'm going to be using the VMware softwares I'm going to be using. I'll generally work with Spark and etc. Spark, big data systems. Okay. So it is going to be Spark, and we are going to be works with the big data systems. I am going to be working with the VMware machines where I'm going to work. Virtually, I'll do it actually. You don't worry about that. Later, it's a later classes. We'll work on that. Why? Because in our course curriculum, in our training program, even we have some part of Spark and big data systems are also there. I'll show you, like you don't work on them, but I'll show you how to work with them actually. Okay. So such kind of an open source language we are going to be using is going to be Python. Python is going to be the language actually. So by this time, that means by this time, almost all, everybody has been got familiarity with the Python. Everybody has been heard about the Python. Everybody has started working with the Python, started learning the Python also. Some years before, most of the people are having the people thinks that Python is a programming language, just like how we learn C, C++, Java. We also has to learn which is going to be, which is going to be the one what we can see is, which is going to be like, you have to work with the, like we have to work with, just like other programming languages, we have to learn the Python. But after people started learning, so there is no requirement. They find it that it is not like a programming language. First of all, generally, technically speaking, Python is a language. It's a programming language. But when it comes to implementation, we don't write like a program. We don't write like a program. We are going to write just like a small statements, which you have never seen about that. Like you may be having an idea about writing a C program. You know how to write a C program, main method, declarations, assignments, conditional, control, etc., etc. Java program, you are going to write a public static void main. After that, we'll write all the program classes, compilation, execution. All these are a little bit headache actually, guys. But Python is not like that. So basically, I'll tell you the history about that. Python is a language which was basically designed, basically designed to make the programmatical part simplified. So they want to make everything should be simple. They want to make everything to be simple. Simple programming language, what we can say that it's a programming language, but it is going to be a very simple programming language. Okay. So we generally call it as a programming language, but we don't treat it as a programming language. We don't treat it actually, guys. We never treat it as a programming language. Why? Because it does not look like a programming language. Everything is a statement by statement execution. No main method, no compilation, nothing is required. Directly write the statement and you have to execute it. For example, we generally know when you start learning any programming language, the first program you are going to learn is print hello world. So we have to write a print hello world. I think you have written the same print hello world program when you're learning C language or any other language. And if you just remember the first day you have written the hello world program, how much you have been struggled. That is the first time you are writing a program. So you may be having a lot of issues. If you forgot to put a semicolon, they don't execute. If you write anything mistakes, it is going to be, there is an error. For example, hello world, if I don't put it in hello world, you don't put it in double quotes, that is going to be an error. A lot of errors has been came on the first day itself. For example, if you written a program printf, so you have to write like this. So something, if you write anything like print error, hello world, if I don't put double quotes, it is an error. If you forgot to put a semicolon, it is an error. We have to include hash include, which is going to be stdio.h. So which is going to be void main. If you miss any one of these keyword or any one of these statement, so the program will fail. Now it is very easy. Now if I ask you to write hello world program, you can write it. But recollect the first day. The first day what you have been written when you written your C program or when you have written the Java program, how much you have been got struggle on that day. But in Python, it is not required. No need to do any hash include. No need to write any void mains. No need to write all these particular applications actually. A very simple programming. I'll just tell you, I'll show you practically also, which is going to be print hello world over. That's it. It is going to be print hello world. No need to put a semicolon, nothing to put. Just you put double quotes also, it will work. Even if you put single quotes also, it will work. There is no limitation for that. There is no restriction for that. So that type of a simple programming language it is. No main method, nothing is going to be written. Everything is a statement by statement only. Simply, if you know how to write a program, that is not sufficient. You also has to know how to compile the program. You also has to know how to execute the program. But here it is not required. Just simply you say enter, it will execute the statement. It is not executing the program, guys. It is going to be executing a statement. A bunch of statements will write it. A bunch of statements we are going to write it actually, or only one statement will write it. Even I'm writing a bunch of statements also, we need not to write any main methods. We need not to write anything. Anything you need not to write it actually. Simple, print hello world, over. That's it. No semicolons, nothing is going to be required. It will print the hello world. Okay, anyhow, generally, this is what we generally call it as an interactive mode of executions. Generally, this is what we are going to call it as the interactive mode of execution actually, guys. Generally, batch mode execution and interactive mode execution, two types will be there. Mostly in Python, we do interactive mode of execution, meaning that is only statement by statement we'll write and we'll execute it actually, guys. You may have never seen, that means if you're already familiar with any other programming languages, other than C, C++, Java, these are not interactive modes. We have to write a batch mode only, execute a total program. You have to write a bunch of statements or a batch of statements and execute as a single program. But here it is not like that. Statement by statement, statement by statement, they will execute. Interactive mode of execution, what we are going to call it as. So Python is a language which is a very, very simple programming language. So better to remove this, better we'll remove this programming. Let us remove this particular programming word from it. It's a simple language. It's a very, very simple language. The main aim of development of Python is also the same, which is their main aim and the main target is to make the programming simplified. Some years before the Python has been, the Python has been evolved in 1991 itself, guys. 1991 itself has been evolved. But it's not having that much contributions. It was not that much popular. Maybe from hardly some around 7 to 8 years back, we started hearing about that. Maybe hardly 6-7 years back. Before that also we heard, but at that time, very less number of people known about that. But nowadays, everybody came to know about that. So before that Python has been started, people started using the Python. Before learning any programming language, so I want to learn Java. Somebody want to learn Java. First of all, can I learn it? So I was able to fit into the Java. I'm capable to learn the Java. Why? Because Java requires some programmatical skills. Generally, some kind of you can say that non-CSC people or non-IT people, generally they used to be having some confusion and a trouble in learning the Java. For example, if I ask an MBA graduate to learn the Java, it is really difficult to make the person to learn Java. Or if you ask a mathematician or you ask a statistician to learn Java, they will hate them. They know that we don't come to the Java at all. So please they will reject the Java from their life, they will reject it actually. Because really for a non, that means generally CSC, IT professionals are fine. But even some engineering graduates, like some other branches like the electrical and electronics, the electronics and communication engineers, they are capable to learn, because at least as part of their engineering graduation, they maybe have learned some C programming language. But whenever we talk about some kind of a non-core subjects like MBA, mathematicians, statisticians, or even some people who are completely not at all related to IT, or never they have been learned a programming language, they will find, or they will first think for multiple times before going to Java. But nowadays, everybody was able to learn Python. Anybody, Because first of all, you have to remove that particular word. Python is not a programming language. It is a simple language only. That's it. How simple it is? Maybe already you people has already started using them. Even you have never seen the Python also, don't worry. So I'm going to just make you understand that particular Python. And one small point, you please keep one point in mind. We are learning Python here not to become a Python experts. So we are not, even myself is not a Python expert actually, guys. I was not an expert in Python. I only have a limited knowledge in Python, a very limited knowledge in Python. Up to what extent I have the knowledge to implement my applications. Like I can implement any machine learning applications. I can do data visualizations. I can apply deep learning. I can apply AI. I can apply data manipulations. I can do everything with the help of a Python knowledge. Up to there only that knowledge is there. For example, if you ask me to develop, if anybody asks me, Vamsi, you are saying that you are teaching some Python. Can you develop a website by using Python? I can't do it. No way. I can't do it also actually, guys. Really, frankly, I'm telling you, I know how to create it, but I'm not saying that I don't know how to create it. But even I was not confident in creating a class in Python. I was not confident in creating I'm going to be creating a Python class. I cannot create it actually. I can't create a class in Python. I was not confident in that. Why? Because we never create it. We never create it. Okay, so as part of our requirement, like whatever the data science, the machine learning, deep learning, I was an expert in that. I was an expert in that. If you ask me to implement by using Python, I can implement it. But how I can implement without having a Python knowledge, without having a Python expertise, how can I implement it? So all of them are going to be available as a predefined libraries. We'll just import the library, guys. There is a libraries will be there. Packages will be there. So yesterday I told you, there are some libraries are going to be there. Simply what we have to do. So for applying a machine learning, there is going to be a library will be there. For example, sklearn is a library. So simply what I have to do, import the sklearn library, and there are going to be some predefined functions and classes will be there. Just we have to implement them actually, guys. That's it. Call the functions and just call the, we have to create the objects of the classes. We have to do that actually. That is the only thing we have to do that. So up to their knowledge only, our knowledge is limited. So don't think that we are becoming a Python experts here or Python programmers here now. We can't apply for Python programmer jobs. You can't become a Python programmer, or you cannot go for a Python developer after completion of our training, because only up to some extent of Python only we are going to learn. But it is good to learn actually, guys. It is good to learn. It is good to learn the more. That is up to you. So further, the help what we are going to be doing here is whatever the core Python that is required for our learning, whatever the core Python that is required for our learning, I'm going to teach you guys. This is in our class. Just hardly for 2 weeks, we are going to be learning about this core Python concepts. If you want to go beyond that, so DurgaSoft is going to provide you as a complimentary. You can see the follow-up mail. In the follow-up mail, you can see it actually, guys. You are going to be getting as a complimentary, we are providing the videos, which is going to contain 170 videos for a free of 6 months of access to you. I'm talking about 6 months of access to the Python videos actually, guys. 6 months of videos, 6 months access to the Python videos, not to our classes videos. Okay, our class videos will be different. That will be accessible through some drive and all these things. This is a different procedure. I'll show you guys. Just for idea, I'll tell you. So this is going to be, let me connect here now. So durgasoftonline.com. Okay, I'll show you guys. I'll just show you. So yeah, I think just a second. Okay, I may forgot my login. Just a second once. Just a second. Yeah, it's logged in. So this is the videos actually, guys. Okay, so these are going to be some of the free materials. These are all free materials actually, guys. Okay, so you can access them. That I'll tell you later. there is one small procedure is there actually, guys. There is a small procedure is there. So the procedure is going to be, you have to create a login and they are going to give you the access to the Python videos actually, guys. So these are all 170 videos related to Python. Most of the topics I'm going to discuss it actually, guys. Most of the topics I'm going to discuss it. So remaining just some other concepts up to here, almost all I am going to be discussing in my class only. Remaining classes, you have to, if you are interested, you can learn it from that particular 170 videos. You have it actually. So you have that option is as a complimentary, they are going to give you this particular access to these videos. Normally, the cost of these videos is going to be 4,000 actually, guys. These are going to be the 4,000 is going to be the cost of these particular videos. You are going to get this one actually, guys, which is costing you 4,000. As a complimentary, they will give the access to that. Okay. So if you want to explore more and more, you are having the access to the 170 free videos. We are going to get it actually, guys. And these videos, these sessions has been taught by Durga sir, who is the one of the expert in Java and Python. So he's one of the most experienced person in teaching the Java and the Python. Java expertise earlier. Now he was also teaching the Python from so many years. He was an expertise on that. So his videos we are going to be getting at a free of cost. So, but only this will be accessible for only for 6 months. So 170 videos actually, guys, 170 videos will be there. Hardly it is going to be small videos only. It's not going to be hours of videos. So 6 months access will be there. So you can just access that 170 free videos. So for 6 months access will be there. Wherever you have some doubts or something like that, you can go there and you can learn the things actually, guys. That is what I can say about this particular this access to that particular videos. Along with that, our session videos are going to be getting through some access through the Google Drive. You are going to get the access actually. So Google Drive, so who has been done the payment links, who has been done the payment, so they will get the recording videos and every day-to-day class notes, materials, and all the FAQs and all these things you will be getting through the Google Drive access actually. So that is going to be about that particular application. So what I'm mean to say is, so with my classes, whatever the core Python I'm going to teach you, you may not become a Python expert here now, but you will be in a position to use the Python for our data science and machine learning applications. So first 15 days, it looks like our concentration is on the Python. So you are going to be learning Python. But once you move after the 15 days of topic, after 15 days, you have been completed. So our thoughts will be never on the Python. That means we never think that you are using Python. You will never concentrate on that particular Python programming language. So everything is going to be technique. Even yesterday I shown you. I told you a technique called as an min-max scaling technique. I told you. You have to understand what is min-max scaling and how to perform the min-max scaling. But how to perform the min-max scaling, that is done by Python libraries. We have been done. So I didn't thought anything, guys. Just an idea how given that. So data science is all about learning some mathematical techniques. Even I shown you some definitions of what is an ML algorithm. What is a machine learning algorithm actually, guys? A machine learning algorithm is going to be nothing but it is a mathematical model. It is just a mathematical model. Any problem in our real life can be solved by a mathematical model actually, guys. A machine learning algorithm is also nothing but a mathematical model used to solve any problem in your real life. Any problem actually, guys. So you don't believe, guys, you don't believe this. Using some mathematical model, I can draw the flowers. I can draw a flower by using mathematical model. So even the drawing a flower is going to be having a mathematical model. There is an equation is there actually. You can draw the flower. How the flower was drawn is going to be done by mathematical model actually, guys. There is a mathematical representation. That means drawing a flower also can be represented in a mathematical equation. If you want, you can see it. You go to the Google and search out. So I want to draw a flower by using the Python. So how to draw the flower by using the Python actually? So what is a mathematical representation of that? There is an equation is there. So if you want to draw the flower, there is a mathematical equation is there. Some square root of 3.5 into something it will be there. According to that, it is going to draw that particular flower actually. So I don't do that. I don't show it practically. That means I'll show you the implementation so that you can understand how I have been got done it actually. We are not interested, but I'm saying that every real life problem, it may be a business problem or your real life problem, anything can be gets represented in a mathematical equation. You can represent in a mathematical format. You can represent it actually. That is what I'm saying that about that. That is what I'm talking about that. Okay. So anyhow, a machine learning algorithm is nothing but a mathematical model, which is going to be basically designed or created to solve a business problem or any problem in your real life. It's a mathematical model. Every mathematical model is going to be contain some kind of a statistical computing. So see the definition of ML algorithm. It says that it is a mathematical model only. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is we have to just understand the concepts. We have to just understand the concepts behind that. But for implementation, we are going to use Python or R, whatever you want to use it actually. Okay, first of all, let us start with some introduction part of Python actually, guys. Let me start with some introduction part of Python actually. As I already told you, the first point, if we can say that a Python is a language which is very, very simple to use, simple to learn, and simple to use. Simple to learn and simple to use. Very simple language, very easy to learn and very easy to use. First of all, who is going to use as the Python? Is the Python was designed for any specific people? No, guys. Generally, the definition of Python is Python is a general purpose language. The first point is it is a general purpose language. So every day I'm going to write some notes like this actually, guys. It's not like a notes actually, guys. It's a whiteboard, what we call it as. So just like how I'm explaining in a classroom, the only difference is you don't see me. If you want, I can on my cam and I can show that. I can also on my cam, but it will disturb you actually. That's why generally I don't on the cam. Otherwise, I'll just 1 or 2 or 3 minutes every day on the cam, and I will just show you. I'll just you can see me. So everything is like a whiteboard only. I'm writing it just like a whiteboard. I'm using a marker. I'm writing it actually. Here I'm using a pen tablet. I'm using it. Even the software I uses is whatever the software I uses is it's a whiteboard. Earlier I used to use a whiteboard actually. Now I'm using a OneNote. This is actually Microsoft OneNote actually, guys. This is not any software actually. It is just a OneNote software which I'm going to be using. Earlier I used to use Microsoft. There is a app called as an whiteboard app is there. So even that app is also there in my system. But earlier it was convenient, but recently they updated it actually. The software name is going to be Microsoft Whiteboard. The name of the software is a Microsoft Whiteboard. We used to use it actually. But now what has been happened here is it was updated and now it has been become very complicated. It's becoming very complicated. Maintenance and all these things becoming very complicated. Maybe I deleted it. This is going to be a software called as, which is going to be Microsoft, which is going to be Whiteboard. I'll show you the software. It is what we are going to call it as an whiteboard software actually. It's a Microsoft Whiteboard, what we used to call it as actually. So we used to use this. I used to use this particular software earlier. I'll say just a second once. You can download it from the Microsoft store actually. Yeah, it's a Microsoft Whiteboard. You can get it from which is going to be Microsoft store. We can get it actually. But now it was becoming a little bit complicated. Earlier it was very, very easy. We used to share them very easily. We are able to share it, but it has become a complicated now. That's why I stopped using the Microsoft Whiteboard. The name of the software itself is Microsoft Whiteboard only. Now I changed it from Microsoft Whiteboard to the OneNote option I have been got using. So every day, very simple. Just I can click on this add button. For every class, I can generate a new file like that. I can generate it actually. So morning class, morning 7:30 a.m. So this is a class what I have been got taken actually. So this is going to be the data what we have been I have been got discussed in the today's class or yesterday's class. I can save them. I can share them very easily. I can share these particular files very easily. I can do that. So this is what I am talking about this actually, guys. Okay. So it has been become very convenient now. That's the reason I'm using this actually. Fine. Okay. Just a second once. Just a second. This is just a Microsoft Note, which is going to be the Microsoft OneNote. I'm going to be gets using it actually. Just a second. Yep. Where is my notes? Yeah, here guys. It will be automatically saved actually, guys. I need not to save it later also. After 1 day or some time, I can share that particular code also. I can save that particular file. Yeah. It is a general purpose language. So what do you mean to say general purpose language? This Python was not basically designed only for a specific group of people, or it is not designed only for a specific domain or something like that. Like if you talk about some languages actually, guys, there are only for specific purpose only they can be used. So you can take any software actually, guys. Most of the other softwares, they can be used only for a specific purpose. You cannot use it for any purpose what you want to use it actually. But Python is not like that. It is going to be only and only for, it is not designed only for a specific purpose. It is a general purpose language. So that means that anyone for any purpose, anybody for any purpose, they can use it actually. I'll tell you who uses this, who is going to use the Python. So the Python can be used by normal any programmers, like they want to develop some kind of an application. So what we can say that it is going to be used by the application developers. You know what is meaning of applications actually, guys? So application developers means the application can be a web application. You can develop the mobile applications. You can develop some kind of an gaming applications, etc., etc. actually, guys. So using Python, I can develop the websites. Using that particular using Python, you can develop the mobile applications. Your mobile apps, what are the mobile apps are there? You can develop by using Python. Even you can use the Python for developing of some games and etc. We can use this particular applications. The Python can be gets used. So web developers, mobile application developers, gaming application developers, anybody can use the particular Python actually. Even the networking people also actually, guys. Networking people, I've seen networking projects or hackers, they are also going to use the Python actually. Even hackers are also uses Python. Why? Because Python supports socket programming. It is due to a kind of an socket programming. So leave it. What is socket programming and all these things? So socket programming is basically used for communication within the systems. Whenever you want to communicate from one system to another system, they will be using some kind of an socket programming. They are going to use this. Python supports socket programming actually. Python programming is going to be supports the socket programming. That's why even the networking people or hackers, they are using this particular Python actually. Not only that one, guys. Not only that one, even some kind of a non-IT professionals, like even some kind of a mathematicians and statisticians. Yeah, it is going to be statisticians. They are also going to be using this particular Python. Earlier, these mathematicians and statisticians, they are not interested to learn this particular programming language. But nowadays, even the mathematicians and statisticians are coming forward to apply their mathematical formulas, their mathematical theories, and the mathematical calculations or theorems, whatever it may be, they are going to be using the Python itself, because Python provides you almost all mathematical calculations, like which I can say something like a linear algebra, okay, or which is going to be something like an Fourier transforms. Simply, I'm writing it as a Fourier transforms, like which is going to be matrix multiplications, matrix additions. Okay, all this what we are going to be doing it actually, guys. Okay, so vector algebras and all these things we can perform by using this one actually, what we can do it actually. Okay. Not only this one, guys, everybody, almost all, everyone is using the powerfulness of the Python actually. So even the data science people, data science, data analyst, okay, or which is going to be AI, which is going to be analyst or AI people. So everybody is using this particular Python actually. Why? Because we can apply machine learning. We can apply machine learning applications. We can apply some kind of a deep learning applications, AI. All these we are going to be applying with the help of that particular Python. So you can see a different categories of people who are non-IT and who are IT professionals. Generally, these are IT professionals actually, guys. These are going to be some kind of a networking professionals actually, mathematicians and statisticians, data science, and all these particular people, they are using it actually. So everybody, for any purpose, they can use the Python. So that is one of the main reason why everybody is nowadays is moving towards the Python actually. It is a common language which everybody has to learn. Everybody has to learn this particular Python nowadays. Simple to learn, simple to use, and which is going to be a general purpose language. Let us talk about some history about this actually, guys. It's not mandatory to learn, but it is always good to learn the history about that. So when you are learning about a programming language, who developed it? Okay, like while you are learning C language. So how the C language has been got evolved. So previously before the C language, how the people used to work. Now after the C language, how it has been became simplified. So something like that, we are going to be having some kind of it is always good to learn about the history about that. It is always good to learn actually, guys. Otherwise, which we are going to be, we cannot work with them actually. So it's not going to be meaningful without learning, without knowing the history, how we are going to be gets working with that actually. Okay. So let us talk about the history about that, how it has been evolved. So like how, when it has been got evolved, what is the history behind them? I think all of you have came to know about that. Okay. Initially, the people, nowadays people came to know about that, but some years before, Python means generally that comes, generally when I said Python, generally what comes to your mind? We know that all of you get some, what you generally will going to get some mind. The snake, which is going to be the huge snakes, which are going to be found in some kind of an Brazilian and some Amazon forest. So we call it as that is going to be comes to your mind. There is also one reason is also there actually, guys. There is also one reason. The reason behind that also is nothing but when you see the Python icon. So see, I'll show you the python.org. If you see the icon of the particular Python, it is going to be looks like a snake. That's going to be looking like a snake actually. So here it is, one snake is there, and here there is one snake is there. So that is also one reason why the people is going to be, why the people thought that something it is going to be relevant to some Python actually. Python means generally that comes to your mind. Not only that, even there are so many textbooks are also there actually, guys. So see some of the Python books. So I want to see some Python textbooks actually, guys. So whenever we see some kind of a Python textbooks, what are the books that are going to be based on the Python? If you see some books, even on the particular, whatever the cover page is there, see Python crash course, there is a Python snake is there. So Python, there is a snake was there. So that is also one reason people started thinking that is the Python is going to be relevant to something, which is going to be something relevant to some snake, but there is nothing relevant to the snake at all. Then how the name has been came. So maybe nowadays all of you have got to know about that, but let me start about the history about that. So if it is started around 1990, the story behind that is started around in 1990 actually, guys. Around in 1990, there was a team which is working on a language which they want to develop, which makes the development part very easy. There is a team around in 1990 is happened actually, guys. Around in 1990, there is a team of people who are working on a research project, on a research they are doing that to develop a language which is going to be as simple, as possible to the developers. So they developed a language called as, the name of the language is ABC. We call it as they call the language as an ABC is the name of the language. So generally we use a term like whenever it is a simple option for us, or whenever it is a simple thing for us, we generally use a word. It is going to be ABC for me. That means I mean to say that ABC is going to be easy. Alphabets, working with alphabets is easy for me. That much easy it is going to be for that particular person. So they developed a language called as an ABC. They developed a language ABC, which their main intention is to make the development part easy. But due to some reasons, this ABC language was not implemented. No implementation has been taken place. It was developed, but it is not implemented. Due to some technical reasons, it was not released. It was only restricted to the lab. So we know that you are seeing a lot of languages in the real world, but in the lab, there are so many languages are developed, guys. Some thousands of languages are developed. But being they have been not feasible in the implementation, so they have been restricted only to the lab. That means they developed it, but they didn't release it for some reasons. Same like that, ABC is also one of the language which was developed and which was limited only to the lab. They have been limited to the lab, only with the research only they have been done, but they didn't release it. So one of the person who was in the one of the team member, his name is Rossum. Actually, his full name is going to be Guido von Rossum. He is his complete name. Generally, we call him as a Rossum. Rossum is one of a Dutch programmer from Netherlands. He is one of the team member who worked on this ABC language. So he has been inspired by that particular language, and he has been written. He is the author of the Python actually. So he has written the scripting and all these things for this particular Python. The Rossum has been got initiated. He has been developed it. But it is not completely contributed by Rossum. There is a lot of so many other communities has been got contributed to the Python actually, guys. So Python is actually a contribution by many experts across the world. It is a contribution by many experts. It's not completely done by Rossum. It is not completely done by Rossum, and Rossum does not. He's going to be the leader, or he's just the author of the base Python he has been developed. But after that, a different communities has contributed a lot to the Python. So the Python success today is not due to the single person Rossum. Along with the Rossum, there are so many other contributions has been taken place actually. Then why that particular name called as a Python has been taken actually? This Rossum, so he was a fan of a TV show. It is actually a TV show name actually, guys. It's a TV show name. It's a web series. Nowadays, we are watching the web series now, guys. So such type of a web series, which has been aired during 1969 to 1974. The name of that particular TV show is going to be Flying Circus is a name of the TV show. So why the name Python has came actually, guys? This Flying Circus has been directed by a group of people which was headed by a person called as Monty Python. So the Monty Python is one of the team member who has been in the direction department of this Flying Circus. That's why the TV show name is going to be called as Monty Python Flying Circus. The name of that particular, the TV show is going to be Monty Python Flying Circus. It is a comedy web series actually, guys. It was aired during 1969 to 1974. It is an English, which is a British TV show actually. So this Rossum was a fan of that particular TV show, and he has taken the name called as in Python from there. It's a name of a person. It's a name of a director. He's one of the crew member in the direction department of that particular Flying Circus. It's a Monty Python Flying Circus. If you want, you can see that. You can watch the videos also. You can also watch the videos also, guys. It is there in Netflix actually. So it is going to be Monty Python. It's a comedy troupe. Okay. So I told you, Monty Python, which is going to be the name of the TV show, is going to be the Flying Circus actually. So this is the name from where this particular Monty, this particular person of Rossum has been taken the name actually. It is nothing relevant to that particular, this one. This is a team. The team is going to be there. So he is going to be the comedy group Monty Python, depicts the peculiarities of British life with observations, sketches, sight gags, and some racy humor and intellectual references. It's a TV comedy show actually, guys. It was aired in 1969 in UK. Up to, which is the final episode is up to 1974 it was there actually. So program creators are Monty Python. There are different people are there. So this particular, even if you see the Wikipedia page, there you can find out. So using this name only, there was a programming language called as a Python is going to be there actually. So in the Wikipedia page, you can find it actually. So there is going to be that information about that also, it is there actually. So if you see that complete history about that, you can see that actually. Okay, so this is going to be the main actually the name and what is going to be the reason for that particular, what this particular, the name has been came from this particular, the TV show actually, guys. Okay, so that is going to be the one what we can see, and even we can see all that information and all these things, we can see it actually, guys. Okay, fine. So that is going to be the history behind that also. So that is going to be the history behind that. So the Python, it has been started in 19. So it has been, the history was started in 1990, 1991. It has been got started actually. But initially it was a very limited usage only. But after some years, so there are a lot of contributions has been taken place, and they have been finded the powerfulness of the Python it has been used. So that is about the history about that. Okay. And you know that now, guys. So why the names? There are some funny stories behind the names of so many programming languages. So from Python, it has been taken from a TV show. Even if you remember, if it's not related to us, but I'll just generally talk in a general way actually, guys. So even anyhow, that is also relevant to us only. We are having big data systems. So one of the popular big data system is going to be Apache Hadoop. So that is there in our later classes. Once again, I will discuss it about that. Apache Hadoop. There is a small, a funny story behind the Apache Hadoop also. So the name Apache is from the Apache Foundation. Apache is from the Apache Foundation actually. So it is the open source foundation actually, and which is going to be the Apache Hadoop. The name Hadoop has been came. The person who is going to be who created this particular, the creator of Hadoop is Doc Cutting. His name is going to be Doc Cutting is the name of the person. So the Doc Cutting has been the he is the inventor, or you can say the developer, or the he has been developed this particular the Hadoop actually. So while he was looking for a name, what name he has to give, the Doc Cutting's son used to play with a toy, a stuffed elephant toy. He used to play it actually. An elephant toy, his son used to play it actually. Son's elephant toy name is Hadoop. So his son has named his toy name as Hadoop. So he has taken that name Hadoop and he has been given to his particular product called as the big data system. Even when you see Apache Hadoop also, there is an elephant symbol will be shown. The elephant symbol is going to be get shown actually. Why? Because elephant is a big animal. Big data system is a very nothing but big data are nothing but which are used to handle a huge volumes of data it is going to be. So that is also one of the story behind that. Like that, different names we have it actually. So Python, simple to learn, simple to use, and it's a general purpose language. And I just told you about the history and who is the author of Python. Rossum is the Rossum. His name is going to be Guido von Rossum. He is the author of this particular, the Python language. And once if you look at some of the features actually, guys, the third and most important feature is going to be, it is an open source. It is an open source. It is an open source language. So most of the people think that open source means nothing but it's a free to use. Free software is that, then if it is free to use, we call it as a free software. So we'll use a lot of free softwares actually, guys, isn't it? We are going to use a lot of free softwares. But difference between a free software and the difference between open source is going to be slightly different actually, guys. Okay. So what exactly we have to do it actually, guys? What exactly we have to do it actually, guys? Okay. So this is going to be the one, what we are going to talking about here is, what we are going to be talking about here is, what we are going to be talking about here is, like what we can say is, okay. What do you mean is an open source actually, guys? Open source means, what is meaning of a free software? So we have a lot of free softwares are there. We have a lot of free softwares are there. They are free to use, but you can't make any modifications. Like for example, I take a notepad application, guys, just an example. This is my notepad application. See, this is a notepad application. Maybe the notepad is a free to use. Actually, the notepad comes along with your Microsoft, your Windows operating system. But if you want to add, for example, I want to add, for example, in the view option, there is a zoom is there, status bar is there. I want to add a new feature here now. I want to add a new option here now, or I want to add a new menu option here now. Okay, I can't make the changes. I can't make the changes actually. Okay, so why? Because Microsoft has been given the software to use, but they didn't given the option to edit the code. Why? Because they don't give the source code to us. They don't give the source code to us. We can use it, but we can't modify it and we cannot distribute. We cannot sell it to some other person as my product actually. You cannot distribute it also. But open sources are free to use and which is going to be free to distribute. You can distribute it also actually, guys. I'll talk about more about the distributions later, but for the timing, what we mean to say is directly they will share the source code to us, guys. They will share the source code. Source code means whatever the code they have been written, that code will be directly shared to you. If you want, you can make some modifications as you require, and you can sell it as your own product also. You can sell it. You can sell the product as your own product also. You can sell it actually. So they will directly share you the source code. Source code is available to us. So directly they says that we have given the code. You please, if you want any modifications, if you want to use it as it is. Otherwise, what you can do is you can just make some modifications and you can do it actually, guys. That is what we are going to call it as, which is going to be an open source language, what we are going to call it as. So Python is an open source. Not only Python, guys, there are so many languages are there which comes under open source. Generally, Microsoft products are not open sources, guys. Okay, so many frameworks which come from Apache, Hadoop, and all these things are going to be open sources, guys. Directly, they'll give the source code to you. You can make any modifications and you can use it directly. You can use it, or even if you want, you can distribute it also. Sell it to somebody. Sell it to somebody. But if you sell the same code as it is, for example, I'll take the Python source code and I will sell it to somebody. Nobody is ready to buy your product now. Why? Because directly without paying any money, everything directly they're getting from Python, then why they will buy your product? So what you have to do is you take the Python source code, add some features, whatever the features you want to add, you can add the features or make some modifications, whatever you want to make it simplified, and then you sell your product. Then customers are ready to buy the clients are ready to buy your product. They are called as Python distributions. They are called as Python distributions actually, guys. Okay, I'll talk about distributions later. Now, somebody will be ready to buy your product. Why? Because you are getting Python. Along with that, there are some features are also going to be coming. Add some features to that. So do some modification to make it simplified. So wherever the people are facing the issues, so make some modifications, make it simplified, and then sell it, ready to buy. That is what we call it as distributed. So take the source code and distribute as you can require it actually. You need not to pay a single rupee for that. So that is one of the biggest headache. You don't find it when you work with some tools actually, guys. Power BI, I want to work with Power BI. I want to work with the Tableau. So many people ask me, sir, why don't you teach? Why don't you learn Tableau? Why don't you learn a Power BI? One of the major problem, Tableau will comes with only with a 14 days trial period. It will come. After that, what you will do? Compulsory, we have to pay the license for that. You have to pay the license for that. Okay, without that, we cannot use it. So there is a lot of limitations will be there. So when you want to work with the Power BI, so Power BI is going to be provided. Luckily, Power BI provides you a free version. It will provide, but Tableau does not provide you a free version. Like that, there are some lot of limitations and problems will be there actually, guys. So, but whenever it comes to open sources, you need not to think about that licensing. Okay, let us say trial period. After 1 year, what we have to do, or after 30 days, what we have to do. You need not to all that headaches. You can avoid it actually. So one of the biggest headache actually, guys, before working with open source systems, we have the same problem, licensing. Okay, how many days I can use. So we used to work with SQL Server databases. 180 days trial period, they says that actually. They says that 180 days trial period. So they will work for 6 months. After 6 months, what we have to do? Again, either you have to uninstall and again reinstall the software, or we have to have a licensing keys. We have to get it actually. The licensing keys, we have to get it actually. But now working with open source has been avoided that kind of the biggest headache of licensing version, the trial versions, limited time period. All these are going to be avoided, guys. No payment, nothing is going to be required. No payment, nothing is going to be required. If you want to use any cloud services, Azure or GCP or some AWS, you have to pay some money to them. Unless and until you don't pay, they are not going to allow to use. 30 days they will allow to use. After that, you have to pay it actually. So that kind of headaches are not there when you work with the open source languages. Python is such type of open source language. You need not to worry about licensing and all these things. No need to worry about. Directly download and install it actually. So do you want to download the Python software actually, guys? So from where you have to download? So download from, which is going to be python.org. So download it from python.org. So you have to please download. Everyone has to, guys. You have to download the Python software from python.org. So some people says that, sir, already we learned Python. We already have a PyCharm. I don't want to use it, guys. You have the idea, you don't have the idea, don't bother about that. Everybody has to download this particular Python from python.org. This is the actual base system, the actual software which was contributed by the Python community. So the software size will be around 27 MB, guys. See, a software which is of 27 MB, a very popular language, a very, very popular language, but I'm saying that it is at 27 MB. Sir, how can it be? You are saying that you work with data science, you work with machine learning, you work with mathematical concepts, you work with AI, you're working with AI itself with the Python, and how it will be 27 MB file? How it could be 27 MB file it is going to be, guys? Why? Because is that 27 MB file is only and only the base system. That is the reason why I recommend to download this particular Python. Base system means, guys, it will comes with the basic features only. Only with the basic concepts only it will come. Remaining, we have to add up as you require. Python is very simple, guys. First, download your base system. As you require, you add up the features, whatever you want to add up. Everything does not comes by default. So that's why, first of all, we have to install the base system actually, guys, which is hardly 27 MB file it will be there. And supports all operating systems. It will support Windows. It will support the Mac. It will support the Linux because open source. It is compatible with any kind of an operating system. So please download the software, guys, and please install it. So the latest version is going to be 3.11.1, I think so, as of my knowledge. Maybe it may slightly changes, 3.11.2 it may becomes, but this is going to be the latest version of the Python actually, guys. So go to python.org. And one more thing also, guys, hope all of you know what is org. It is not .com. When you go to Microsoft, it is Microsoft.com, commercial. Oracle.com, commercial. Okay, Google.com, commercial. They are commercial companies actually, guys. Python.org, Apache.org. These are going to be open sources communities, guys, organizations. They are not commercial organizations actually, guys. Python.org. Mostly will work with ORGs, guys, now. Mostly will work with the ORGs only. NumPy.org. If you want to work with NumPy, it is numpy.org. Okay, if you want to work with matplotlib, it is going to be matplotlib.org. Everything is going to be .org. These are all open sources, guys. It is going to be matplotlib.org, cbond.org. It is going to be cbond. Which is going to be, it's in cbond-pydata.org. It is not cbond.org, but cbond.pydata.org. If you want to work with scikit-learn, sklearn.org. Everything is going to be .org only, guys. Everything is going to be .orgs. Even TensorFlow, which is a very, very popular one. TensorFlow.org. It's one of the very beautiful framework actually, guys, which is going to be highly used among the deep learners, AI people. They use us actually, guys. Which is going to be PyTorch. Which is going to be PyTorch. Which is going to be PyTorch if you work with them. So that is also going to be a python.org. We are going to be gets working with them. See, all are open source communities, guys. They don't want to get any, their main target is not to get an income, or they want to get some kind of an money or something. They don't want to earn anything from them. They want to contribute for that. So you know that, no, non-profitable organizations. So they want to communicate, they want to contribute something to the society. So that's why they are saying that everything we are giving it a free of cost. Not only the code, it's not only free to use. I'll give the code to you. You want any modifications, you do. You also contribute something to me. That is what is the main about this particular, this one. Even R language also actually, guys. So later we'll work with the R language. It is r-project.org, and R language, which is basically used for statistical computing. So download from python.org, guys. Download the software. In the next class, I'll start with the practicals. Okay. So this is going to be python.org. So go to the particular python.org, just a second, and go to the downloads, guys. As I told you, maybe the version may be slightly changed. 3.11.2 is the latest version. 3.11.2. So if you want to work with, Mac, so we have a Mac OS is also there. You can just download the Mac OS versions, or otherwise we can use, which is going to be the Windows, whatever the Windows, we can use it, or directly told, we have the source codes are there. Directly we have a source code is going to be there, guys. So you can download that particular source codes, what we are going to be having it actually. 3.11.2. You can just download February 8, 2023. Download that particular, whatever the zip file is there. Just we have to extract it and you have to work with them applications. Okay. These are source codes actually, guys. These are all source codes, which is going to be tar.zz will be the extension. If I just download this is going to be downloaded as, which is going to be tar.zz is going to be the extension of this particular files. I'll show you. If you want, you can see it actually, guys. So the extension of the file is going to be like this actually, guys. Actually, if we have to extract it, so tzz, it is going to be tar.zz, what we are going to call it as actually. So this is going to be just like an compression file only. We are going to be using this actually. Okay, no worries. This is going to be how that particular folder is going to be there actually, guys. Here there is no setup, nothing is there actually, guys. No setup and nothing will be there. Directly we can start working with them actually. It's a source code. Okay, fine. Leave it, does not matter. So this is going to be, please download for the Windows, guys. It's very easy installation. It's very easy installation. Don't download any source codes. Directly go to the Windows, Python 3.11.2. So I told you, hardly it is going to be 24.2 MB actually, guys. This is a file. Just double click on that. Just what you have to do, guys. Just double click on that and you have to install it. Very easy installation, guys. Nothing problem is there. Just next option, you can install it, guys. So being already I have an existing version, so it is saying that upgrade now, but in your case, no need to do it actually. Even I can also upgrade it. So simple, a very simple procedure, guys. Next, you will continue the installation procedure. Okay. So that's it for the today's class, guys. So just today I have given some features of Python, like what is the features of Python. So tomorrow also I'll just discuss about 2 to 3 features. I'll discuss it and I'll start with the practicals applications. Okay. So that's it from my side for the today's class, guys. So if you have any questions, I can just take up some questions for 5 or 10 minutes and then you can go ahead actually, guys. Anyone, guys, any questions if you have? Yes, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to discuss with me. Right. Okay, I think no one has a, Prashant,
Yeah. Data science and AI, both are different or both are same?
See, it's not, there are different terminologies we are going to use as actually, but when you go to the actual applications, we'll come to know about that. First, we are going to start with machine learning is our first criteria to learn it actually. Okay, so in data science only, we are going to, data science is about learning about all these techniques, machine learning, deep learning, AI, all these are going to be part of your data science actually. So we can't say that both of them are same, both of them are different. They're completely different actually. So data science is completely the core area we are going to be working. It's an interdisciplinary field, which contains a lot of techniques and all these things. Among that AI, deep learning, ML, okay, NLP, all these are going to be the core concepts about the data science actually.
Okay. A
Okay.
is the subset of data science.
It's a subject of data science, a part of your data science.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Sankirtana, right. Yeah, Kirtana, right.
Sir, what kind of jobs do we get after this data science, sir?
You'll have multiple skill sets will be there. Like you can become a data analyst, you can become a report developer or a data visualization expert. You can become a machine learning expert. You can become a deep learning expert. You can become an NLP engineer. So we have a multiple roles we are going to be having because it is a kind of an techniques and there are multiple skills we are going to be learning here now. So depending on your expertise, you can apply to your required. It depends on your expertise as well as it depends also in your experience also. With a 2 to 3 years of experience, you cannot apply for a data scientist job. Then you have to go as a data analyst or we have to go for a data visualization expert. If you are interested, you can go to NLP engineering, deep learning engineering, AI, which is going to be machine learning expert. Like that, depending on your expertise and depending on your experience, we have to choose the roles.
Sir, the people, sir, I am from the medical background, sir.
Okay.
So, like, what type of jobs do I get?
You is as part of your, see, you are saying that you are from medical background actually. So you have your medical data, right?
Yes.
It may be something like related to medicines or related to patients or whatever it may be, hospitals, etc. So it is going to be like an analyst. So it is going to be like an, we can say that those roles are also going to be like an data analyst jobs we can get it actually. So you are going to work, you have your own data, you have your own medical or something data. So you can do some analytics on that particular applications on that. So go as a data analyst.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Even you can also become data analyst, machine learning, anything is required. But that also depends on your expertise also. How much expertise you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Right. So any more questions, guys?
Are
Yes,
there going
Anshu.
to be any?
Hmm.
Yep. Are there going to be any real-time projects as part of the code?
Yes. We'll be having them. So we are going to be having some kind of a capstone kind of a projects, which we are going to share it with you. So you can just have to do that. That means the different stages, like which are going to be having some kind of an, we'll share that particular codes. That means the data and all these things we'll share it with you. So you have to start, you have to work on that. And we are going to be just verifying. I will be verifying like at what level you have been got done. So I'll give some kind of a checkpoint, step by step. This is my checkpoint 1. Is my checkpoint 2. First, you have to do that. Like that, you will be having a kind of a capstone projects with the real data sets only. We are going to work with them.
Thanks. Yeah.
Right?
Thanks.
Yeah, guys. I think hope all of you are fine with this, guys. So just let us end up the session for today, guys. And as I told you, guys, so already almost we have already started with the regular classes. So within a couple of days, we'll change the link to which will be shared only to the paid people, only for the paid participants. So if you have any issues or anything like that, you can just contact my backend team and all these things. And please complete off all your the payments and all these things so that you will not be having any delay or any disturbance with that. Immediately we'll get the access to the drive, the Telegram group, access to the videos. All these things will be planned according to our plan. It will goes ahead actually. Okay, fine, guys. So thanks for today, guys, and we'll continue in the tomorrow's class, same time and at the same link. We'll meet it in the tomorrow session, guys. Thank you all of you, guys.